you also do, from your company, you do the challenge hiking and climbing mountains. I think you've shared to me sometime in the past, like ushaipanda Mount Kenya, Mount Kilimanjaro. And me being a person, not only me, hata kuna maybe a lot of people from the audience wenye wanaweza taka have such a challenge. So how is it like climbing Mount Kenya? What's the experience like?
Let me tell you, hiking, I never thought I'd enjoy hiking because I was introduced to hiking in 2019.
Lately, off late?
Yeah, actually, no, 2018.
2018.
Like
4 years ago.
Yeah, 2018. Then 2019. Yes, it was 2018. So with hiking, first it is not, I can't say it is for the very fit. But then you can start hiking pole pole, but to start like now with Ngong Hills.
Satima.
Oh God, no, yeah, Satima is good, but for someone like for you, it's good because I believe you're exposed to higher altitudes. Watu wa Shinyeri, Gatundo, karibu na mlima. Au hata Satima hata unaweza kimbia. But sasa kama if you're from Nairobi, you're from coast, you're from, you know, the altitude is a bit lower, you will struggle because it's very, very high. High. But the thing is, when it comes to hiking, I have found that it treats a lot of diseases. Yes. When I started hiking, there's a period I was diabetic, and I also had a friend who was asthmatic, and she would really like seriously get asthmatic attacks. But now when you start hiking, the high altitude expose your brain to, and rather make your brain produce more hemoglobin or more red cells, because you know the air is thinner.
Oh yeah.
And with that, your lung capacity also increases. So I realized before I started hiking, I would be struggling with very simple chores, even house chores, like unainama kupanguza like 3 meters, una hema, you know. And I realized now when I started hiking, slowly my lung capacity became bigger. I became more efficient. I started running, and I never used to run before. And even doing chores became easier, and I discovered that even my body was self-healing. And years now, my friend, like for the last 4 years, she's not used any not 4 years, 3 years, she's not used any antihistamines or any things used to take for her asthma, she hasn't. And myself, I stopped completely even using. My diabetic has gone so badly that I was injecting 2 different kinds of insulin, and sometimes I'd supplement that with tablets. But right now I don't use any.
So hiking in itself, it's medicine.
The mountains heal you, because you think when you're hiking, first your body is really, really tasked, because you're going very up, like you're going up, so you're pushing your brain, and your body is in particular, your body has little oxygen because of the thinning air. So now your brain starts working very fast, the system starts producing red cells and so forth and so forth, like your body and in that particular process, anything that is not healed slowly gets healed. Because your body is surviving, it gets into the survival mode, and then it starts regenerating itself to ensure you survive. Yeah. So, and
I think that's similar to fasting. Just like fasting.
Exactly.
Similar.
Yeah. Because now the body starts thinking, I need to survive. I need to generate new cells. I need to do this. I look at it also as pregnancy. Because when a mother is carrying a baby, this child some cells are being created. So as the cells of the kids are being created, they send some stem cells to heal any exact cell in the mother's body. Like now, if it is the liver being formed, the thing that is forming the baby's liver, it will send stem cells to the mother's liver to heal it too. Yeah. So during pregnancy, women normally actually heal through very many issues inside their body. So that's the way I look at hiking. Now the thing is, if you're doing Mount Kenya, for example, Mount Kenya is not tough. It's not very tough. Even the ascent is friendlier. But now when you're doing Kinango, there's Mount Kinango. There's
Kinango is higher than Mount Kenya. I think Mount Kenya
It's
is the highest
tougher.
point.
Mount Kenya is the highest point, but it is not as tough.
Why is Kinangop higher, tougher than Mount Kenya?
You can only tell that by hiking
Experience.
it. Yeah, I find, because Kinangop, yes, it's a day. It's something you'll do in one day. People do it in 10 hours, 12 hours. Mount Kenya, you'll do it in, not 3 days. For me, I do it in one night. So I start, and then I sleep at one of the base, and then summit.
So how is the experience like? Like, do you feel maybe spiritual or something like
No,
that? Do you
that's
feel different?
That's a lot of hogwash on the streets. You are tired. There's no
You're tired.
spirituals in you. You're just tired.
You feel
You're
like-
you're cussing. You hate the guide. You want to turn. You are asking yourself why you are on this hike. Trust
But what's
me,
the
all
feeling
the
like
hikes.
getting at
When
the
you
hike?
get at the summit,
Yeah.
now that is it.
How is the feeling like?
Oh, I think that you communicate with the gods. You look down and you're like, oh.
I've made it, Mama, I made it.
And I think the reason why summits are usually so profound, it is because getting to the summit beats you up properly. You want to turn a million times. You get angry. But the guy anakuongelesha, unamrarukia, unameachana unaongea. But you have the option of turning back, but you don't. You keep on pushing. You push, and then now you finally get to the summit. Wow, it's
Kuna
like
hiyo flag. Like, nasikia kuna.
yeah, there's a flag. There's a
Kuna
flag.
certain in the streets. Like, there's a certain guy.
You've
who
never
climb-
gone to Mount Kenya?
You have to take me there.
Oh, we will go because I've climbed Kenya now 7 times.
7 times.
Yes.
Like, nasikianga kuna this guy in 1963 when Kenya got its independence. Okay, like as you were saying, how is the experience like? The feeling once you get at the peak.
Hey. Now, I think the thing is, the fact that you have struggled so hard to get there makes summiting the sweetest ever feeling you can ever experience. Like it is like it's just that I can't mention some words, but it's like chocolate heaven and something that starts with an O, and combine.
Alright.
You will edit that out. I'll be fired. Anyway, it's chocolate and ice cream and heaven. Yeah. So that, and when you're feeling that way, like I've achieved, I have reached here, I have done it. So you notice that when we hike, when you get to the summit, people don't start like looking at the landscape. They'll be like, oh, people even start crying. Yes. People break down and cry and cry. And then after that, they're like, oh, photos, selfies. And then now that's when you start now looking at around you.
And then it's beautiful, like up there.
Exactly, it is. But some places it's not as beautiful because I didn't see a lot of beauty with Kilimanjaro the first time I was there. Because by that time, you know, with Kilimanjaro, it gets to a point you start hallucinating.
For real?
For real, yeah.
Like Kishash Kobash.
You know, because it is so high, and then you gain altitude so fast. So some people hallucinate, like you go through all the motions of altitude sickness, like again to a very extreme level. If you have a very good team, they are going to inject you, like utadungwa mashindano za kukusaidia with the altitude. But no matter how well you're prepared, because the first time I went to Kilimanjaro, I had climbed Mount Kenya on that weekend, Saturday, and then Wednesday I was starting Kilimanjaro, yes. So you cannot say that I had altitude issues because I had done all the highest points in Kenya. So when I went to Kilimanjaro, I thought, I'm okay. But by the time I was getting to the summit, I was angry, I was sick, like I was feeling like I want to puke. I almost wanted to give up many times. And by the time I was getting there, I was a mess. Like, so, and I looked around and at the people who were around me, and everyone was crying. Like, we are here. People cry. And then now after that, now that's when like, oh, we have to look nice for the photos. Selfies. Yeah. But hikers would tell you, like, what makes the summit.
It's a bittersweet kind of experience.
Yes, it is. I have made it. I have conquered. Yeah. It's
Alafu, like in Mount Kenya, do you have like kuna that story in the streets? Like there's a guy, once Kenya attained its independence, that there's a guy who climbed there, akaenda na the flag.
We still have a symbol of it, but yenye sasa iko hapo ni metallic. Ya ile ya nini ya kitambaa, of course iliraruka nini.
But it's a true story.
Yes, it's a true story.
Okay.
I think he was even a Kamba guy.
So Mount Kenya and Mount Kilimanjaro, those are two different experiences.
Oh, very, very different. People used to say that Kilimanjaro is easier than Kenya, and many people actually still believe it. But so I started thinking, if Kili is easier, I'll start with Kenya, do as many Kenyas, and then do Kili. Kilimanjaro is easy the first 3 days. As a matter of fact, it's almost flat.
It takes how many days?
6.
6 days?
Yes, 6 days.
No, Mount Kenya is just one night.
I do it in one night. But Kilimanjaro, if I pushed myself, I can do it in 3 nights.
But, okay, Mount Kenya is 51.99, if I'm not.
Yes.
Kilimanjaro is 58 something.
Yes. And in height, in hiking,
it's a lot.
That's a lot, because now when we sleep at 5600 in
Kili.
4600, yes, 4600 in Kili. Now you'll go all the way to 58.
Yeah.
So meaning you're going into the sky more than a kilometer of climbing.
And then you are telling me a certain story, like, okay, the people who now go to Everest.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us something about Everest.
Everest is express. I've never been to Everest myself. Every hiker in Kenya and all over would want to do the 7 summits. 7 summits are the highest points of every continent. The 7 continents, the highest point. So I can proudly say I've done 1 summit.
Africa, Kilimanjaro.
Yeah. So I dreamed, but right now it's not very urgent because I have young kids.
Oh, yeah.
I can't attempt Everest until my kids are a particular age. So Everest, what happens is that it is so high, so high, that these days you cannot go without oxygen. You have to buy oxygen. And I've seen Kenyans, like they go to Everest, but they don't go beyond the base. Because just getting to the base alone is going to cost you a minimum 300,000 and it can go as high as 800,000. Just to get to the base. Ni kama Old Moses ya Mount Kenya. Yes.
Just to go to the base.
Yes.
Now you're like the base uko like on top of Mount Kenya.
Yes.
In terms of the altitude and
yes.
everything.
And it is hard to get there.
Yeah. And expensive.
And they have only a short period of hiking. That's why it is extremely expensive to hike. And that's why we were seeing the disaster the other year, because they gave too many permits and very many people died.
Oh, people died?
Yes.
Okay, like people actually dying.
People die, yes.
Mount Kenya people die.
Mount Kenya is not as rampant. Kilimanjaro has a higher mortality rate than Kenya.
So,
but Everest has a high rate. Because now, like for instance, because one of the causes that people died is some people ran out of oxygen. Because there were so many people, you have to wait for them to pass, because you have to give way. And then there are those trails, it just has to be strictly one person at a time. You cannot joke around with that. Because if you do one stupid thing, you might kill a string of people. Yeah. So there are those things like when it comes to the mountains, and this is something I saw in Kilimanjaro. A week before we went, 4 guys had died in the mountain.
What?
Yes. And they had been told, go follow the guide. And then now one guy said, no, because you go the mountain round like this. You don't go that way. Yeah. So you circumvent it. And one person, I think 1 or 2 people felt, twende straight, we are fit, we are good, we can gain this altitude much faster. And then they slipped or something happened, they slid down the mountain, they passed with 2 other people, and the 4 of them died. Yes.
I was also reading another blog, an article of someone who was trying to someone was attempting to climb Nelion.
Yeah.
And then somehow they slipped.
Yes.
And
Well, we see with Mount Kenya, by the trail, by the land trail, you can get to Lenana. And then the other 2 peaks, you use technical climbing, and you must have a guide. You must have a guide. And we call them risk managers or someone. You must have someone to help you facilitate the process. Because a slip in those 2 peaks is almost an assured death. Yeah.
So,
but it's not all bad. As we said, hiking has a lot of advantages. If you're struggling with any major diseases, hiking will always sort it out. Yeah, it's a medicine.
So maybe any dreams you have in terms of hiking, maybe a certain place you want to visit. How many continents have you been to?
3.
3 countries?
No, just a second. How many continents? It's a good question.
Okay, to the name
4.
Africa.
No. That should be. Yeah. We are not going to talk about that. I've been to 4 continents.
4 continents. Countries.
Yeah. Countries. So many. There was a period I was traveling like on average 3 countries a year.
Yeah. For like duration.
Since from 2014 to 2019.
All right.
Yeah.
So like any particular dream country or place you don't visit?
I'd like to live in Ghana.
Ghana
Why was
Ghana?
my favorite. Like
Why?
the people, I was treated like a royalty when I was there.
A queen.
Like I had this consultancy I was going to do, and I didn't think it was such a big deal because you know the way you meet with someone and rather the conversations are online. And then they plan everything and you don't really think they're really serious until now they send you the air ticket and so forth, and I'm like, Allah, this thing is happening. So I go, and when I land in Accra, I find a whole team waiting for me. HR director comes and says hi, and she has this team and they welcome me, and there's a vehicle waiting for me, and they put for me this royal robe for Ghanaians. And after that, like, I'm taken directly to the market. They take measurements of my clothes, and then like it was and then all through my stay I was given a car, I was given a driver, I was given 2 people to work for me, and I was living in a 5-bedroom house. Yes, and I had a cook, like, and then I had like a person on call every single moment, and my driver was stroke my bodyguard, like he would take me everywhere. And what was interesting is that all my bills were paid. Like one day I was like, I want to go to the club to party. I like going out, so I went out and all my bills were paid. They were like, no, it's on the company. I'm like, what? And then the next morning I rather went home, and then the next morning I had to hike. Thank God there's somewhere I could hike. The driver came, took me, and you know, like, it was amazing. Yeah, the last day I was in Ghana, I was given a lot of money to go and shop. So for me, I thought that is their payment for my services. Like, okay, I went and shopped for my family and all that. And remember the measurement they took? They gave me, walikuwa shona nguo in that period I was there. So I picked it up, and for me and my daughter. And I came back to Kenya, and now later they sent me some money for my services.
Who are you?
I know.
Who am I talking to?
I was like, what? And all through your chauffeur driven, like doors are open for you, like you're like, such things. So I found a lot of Ghanaians are good. They are hospitable. They're kind, and then it's a place of many countries I've visited. It was a place that I found it friendly for my fitness agenda. And there is a community, like a very robust community of fitness freaks and hikers. And they have a particular place where they meet on Saturdays and they do activities. And I think it was free. I don't think I paid. So it was quite refreshing. Yeah.
So, alright, that's a nice. So you think Ghana, in terms of economy, are they ahead of us?
Definitely, because one Ghanaian cedi is 20 shillings, 20 or 22 shillings.
Oh.
So their currency is much stronger. Because at that time, $1 was 4 CDs, 4 point something CDs.
Okay, my dream destination actually in New York, the Times Square. Like, I find it so fascinating.
Why? Have you been outside Africa?
One day, God must.
Okay, have you been outside Kenya?
Okay, I think nishaenda TZ, but ni ile point niko Kenya one step niko hapo kwa border, but
safaris.
Really, yeah, the safaris. Actually, it was safari ya Masai Mara.
I see.
Yeah. You see now that me. But I hope to start traveling really soon.
Find some guys, hook up like him and other friends. Put aside like 2K per month. By the end of the year, you'll have 24. You guys pull it together.
Go somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I do with my girlfriends. Like right now, we have a vacay coming, and I don't think, not very far, but I don't think we will use more than 25,000 per person. But it's still a vacation.
It's still a vacation.
Yeah.
You treat yourself. First, you should take us to Mount Kenya. So you organize, after the staircase challenge, maybe you can organize another now. Hike to Mount Kenya. Yeah, I'll join that one.
So, I'll organize.
So it was nice chilling with Dr. Lucy. I have personally learned a lot. We've shared some stories. So Lucy, maybe you can tell your fans to subscribe. Your students.
Thank you, Tony. It was really humbling. It was really nice to have me in your session. And now this is me reaching out to you guys, my friends, my professional connections, my students, my colleagues, my family. The future is in what we are doing, in content creation, in entertainment. And Tony here, Tonyville.
Creations. The good old days.
The good old days. Yeah. This is something we need to support, because this is a young man who started to do this, to entertain us, to take us through down the memory lane, to tell us who we are, give us a moment to reminisce and live through those young days where we had very little to worry about and we threw caution to the wind. And I think we all have a story to tell. Like, even if I was to talk to maybe the CEO of Equity Bank, James Mwangi, or I'm talking to my Vice Chancellor, Vincent Ogutu, Professor, or, anyone, if you ask them, tell me about something that you think of fondly in your younger days, all of us would have a story to tell. So we can support this venture by viewership, subscription, of course, sharing the videos that we share, and we can also support by offering to be guest members of this show, and we get to know you better. And yes, so that's my appeal to you. If you're watching this and you think you have a moment, you have a story to share, you'd like to sit down and reminisce about the good old days, then Tony here is your guy, and the support will be much, much appreciated. Thank you so much.
So yeah, you said it all. I don't think I haven't been tired. So see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.